Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator, Chapter 136. Do we continue? All of Toothless's sensing lobes flared away from his skull. His eyes dilated to the point he knew no one would be able to see any green. Moondust remained pressed against him for a few heartbeats. Then she sat back. Her gaze fell away. "I am sorry," she whispered, sounding disappointed, unsure and embarrassed all in one. When her wings flared, Toothless's mind caught up with what was going on. "Wait, no! Please don't leave! Please stay! What did you mean? What choice?" He suspected. He hoped. He had to know. He could not assume. He would not be like that male. Moondust stared at him, copying his one eye fully opened, one eye half closed look. "I have admired you for a while, Toothless," she said. Toothless slowly closed his eyes, and just as slowly opened them. His heart raced as if he had performed every aerial trick he knew, and a few hiccup and he were developing together. "I have felt the same." "You have admired yourself for a while now." Hiccup huffed. "Funny." Moondust giggled, but her lobes dropped, flattening against her skull, and her gaze fell to the ground. "Did that male and what he did to me prevent you from seeking more?" Right then, Toothless wished he had hands like his brother. He had seen Hiccup lift Astrid's chin when she fell into the same posture as Moondust. He settled on telling her the truth, and hoped it would get her to look at him again. "In part, but because I didn't want to remind you of what happened. That male was wrong, and did something no dragoness should ever have done to her. Even the ones who don't care about wing covers. I didn't want you to hurt more if my advances brought up bad memories." Moondust sighed, eyes closing. "And now that you know how I feel?" Toothless cooed. "If this is what you want, if I am what you want, Moondust, we're going to do this right," he said softly. "You deserve to be treated like a queen." Moondust snorted, eyes opening and head shaking. "I am not a queen. I'm just me." "You're a queen to me," Hiccup whispered. "Do I go find your flock leader and our alpha?" Moondust took a deep breath. "Yes." Hiccup closed his eyes for half a heartbeat. He opened them to find Moondust staring at him. He gave her a gummy smile. "Let's go find them together." They headed for the fireworm cave. As much as he wanted to place his wing over her, he did not. He would not until he had permission from Gita and Hiccup. He was adamant that his courting her would start correctly and honourably. She deserved nothing less. Just as they entered the cave system, Toothless groaned, "I am never going to hear the end of this." "End of what?" Toothless grunted as they passed by the place where all the shiny things the humans had found, and could like excitable hatchlings over, had been. "I may or may not have teased Hiccup and Sharpshot relentlessly about Astrid and Sneaky." Moondust laughed, a trilling sound that Toothless knew he wanted to hear again and often. "Yes, you are in for it." They reached the tunnel up and Toothless paused, looking over at her. "You'll defend me, right?" "Does Lady Alpha and Sneaky defend your brothers when you start?" "No, they usually just laugh." "Then I shall just laugh as well." Toothless stared at her, opening for the look Gita had deemed his puppy eye look. Moondust snorted and regarded him with her version of his gummy smirk. The urge to scoff at her and nuzzle her yanked Toothless in 2 different directions. He settled for grunting and walking up the tunnel. Her giggles followed him moments before she joined him. "May I ask what prompted you to tell me how you felt?" he asked as they curved around a bend in the tunnel. "Not that I mind at all. I'm just curious." "Lady Alpha. She spoke to me while you stood against that male." "What did she say?" "Moondust, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but men can't read our minds. If you want Toothless, you have to tell him, and tell him in a way he can understand. Gods bless them. but sometimes men can't get simple concepts.
Toothless snorted. That does sound like something she'd say. She had poor Hiccup so confused the night she told him how she felt. She finally had to do that suffocating lip thing over and over before he understood what her words meant.
As protective as you are of him, I'm rather surprised you let her near, considering the tale you gave us the night we all met.
I did worry at first. Her first meeting with me, well, first in our time, which is more confusing to say than to think about, Toothless grunted. Anyway, that night when she sought him out, I did not like her. I wanted her as far away from him as possible. He had other ideas, so I flew with it and used it to teach her.
What changed your mind? She asked as they exited the tunnel and traversed to their left along the straight corridor with many tunnels branching off of them. Elder Gita giving all of you back your memories? She added as they turned right into another tunnel that curved upwards.
No, we didn't get our memories back until a moon turn after Hiccup woke up. Before I remembered that she was the first of his kind to actually ask to join him on our side of Gita's barrier, it had been her apologising and following Hiccup's order that moved me from dislike to being okay with it. It wasn't until she told Stoic off that I knew she'd be the perfect mate for Hiccup, and Gita giving us back our memories only reinforced that.
What did she tell Stoic?
Stoic asked her what pushed Hiccup into getting the other dragons and flying after everyone, and why the other human younglings followed him. Toothless sighed. The question came right after a moment we all feared Hiccup would die. I only remember the entire conversation because Hiccup did not die, and I awoke from what I realise now was me dying as well.
Moondust crooned sadly. Toothless stopped on the flattened section of the curving tunnel as it crisscrossed with two other tunnels. He leaned over and rubbed his head against Moondust's cheek. She returned the affection. I was scared when you collapsed beside Alpha's sleeping nest, she whispered.
I wish I could give you assurance it won't happen again. But I can't. I know the bond between Hiccup and I will kill us both when he dies, and I've accepted that my life will not be as long as normal.
Toothless sighed, moving away and staring at her.
Before we continue, Moondust, you have to know that. I'm sorry. I should have spoken about this already. If we go through with this, if you still want me to court you, and if that courting leads to a matehood, I'm not going to live as long as you.
I know, Moondust whispered. Elder Gita already explained. I still want to continue. Toothless nodded his head. He had another question for her, of if this courtship did end in a matehood, and he had no reason to believe it would not, but he would wait until that day to ask her.
Then we'll continue,
he whispered. What did Lady Alpha tell Stoic? Moondust asked as they started walking again.
She told him it was the right thing to do, something he had forgotten or lost in his short-sightedness about what Hiccup should have been. If it had been her in Hiccup's place, she would have only come and get me, Gobber, and a couple of others, but would have left him to die.
Moondust hissed. Wow! How did he take that?
His muzzle turned the same colour as sharp-shot spikes. He sputtered and hissed. I wobbly moved to stand in front of her. I thought he would hurt her, and I would not allow that. He sat back when I growled at him. Neither of them talk about that now, but I think he realised she would be a good mate for his son then, too.
Oh, Nest Protector, Wind Shrieker, greetings.
Hello, tiny Fireglow flock leader,
Hiccup said as they paused upon entering a cavern, the same cavern they had first met the fireworms. Toothless honestly loved that the humans could now speak the common tongue. Learning human words was always an exhilarating experience. Learning their names for dragons even more so, and he found he was beginning to like some of their names over the ones the dragons gave a species. This was one of those times. It was so much easier to think fireworm than tiny Fireglow. It was still expected that a dragon would use a dragon name, though. Toothless wondered if that would change as well, as dragons and humans continued to live in the same nest together. He hoped so. It would be easier to say some of the human names for the dragons as well.
Are you going to be seeing Alpha soon? The female who bowed to Hiccup the day asked after Moondust added her greeting.
We are heading to speak with him now.
May I accompany you? I have to speak with him as well.
Sure. May I ask why you need to speak with him about?
The fireworm sighed, and her entire body flickered. Though a green colour instead of the usual glow, a fireworm glowed. It is time. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. So yes, they're officially doing this. They're asking permission to get married. So sweet and needed after last chapter. And oh, the teasing. I love Moondust. I love her so much. She's a great character, and I love that even though she's soft and gentle and still healing from what she went through, she has it in her to laugh about this kind of thing. To be honest with Toothless so soon after her attacker was right in front of her. That takes such emotional fortitude. I'm really proud of her. And I'm so proud of Toothless for this. Him being so honest and open with this is just beautiful. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.